Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have Bismillah Buddies with us, an organization that creates innovative content both online and offline, seeking to make Islamic learning fun, engaging, and relevant for children. Bismillah Buddies from our phase 2 of the AWP program. We have Mehnaz and Sadia with us today. Hi, ladies. How are you doing?
Hi, Samira. We're doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited to learn more about you and learn more about how Bismillah Buddies became what it is today. So let's go ahead and get started with our questions. Are you all ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's go
Okay,
ahead.
Fantastic. So initially, we're going to be asking some questions to learn more about you as people. So that's both you, Mehnaz, and Sadia. Now, I want to ask, what motivates you to get up every morning? What drives you to get out of bed and do what you do?
I think for me, I like finding something small to look forward to every day. It needn't be anything substantial. Even if I've had a really sucky day the previous day, I look forward to like my cup of coffee in the morning, or whoever I get to meet that day, or maybe something that I'm looking forward to for lunch, or something that I'm going to write. So it needn't be anything substantial. I try to look for small things that I might find enjoyable during the day, and that's how I get up.
So small, achievable tidbits to get on going, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Sadia? What helps you get up in the morning?
So for me, these kind of questions are a bit odd because life isn't about these grand gestures of motivation when you get up and do. Life is just simple little moments. You wake up in the morning because that's life. You wake up and you do your regular routine things, and you slowly build them up into something meaningful for yourself, something meaningful for society. So yes, I mean, I get up because I have to send my children to school. I get up a little earlier so I get my half an hour of me peaceful time to reflect every morning, and slowly these things add up to to make those big moments in life. But I don't think you need to look for like this grand thing to wake up to every morning. It's life. It's what you do.
Then I'm going to ask you the next questions, which is a fun one. Who in your life has inspired you on your journey as an entrepreneur? Can you name someone and name a story, perhaps?
I would say that my inspiration has probably been my children, because I moved to entrepreneurship after I became a mom, and it was just this desire to do, like when you become a mom and when you have children, at least for me, it was a huge shift in perspective. It was very unexpected, and there were just suddenly a whole new set of things that I had never considered and I wanted to improve. And that's what set me off on this journey of entrepreneurship, because suddenly I had these ideas and these thoughts and this mission almost that for my children, I need to do this. It was just a whole different set of priorities and meaning that I needed to pursue. So I would say that was the factor.
So your children gave you a whole new perspective.
Yes, absolutely.
Would you say? So Mehnaz, what do you think? Would you support Sadia as well on this?
Yeah, I think my children too, but I'm trying to think of which of my grandfathers. I think both of them, both my grandfathers, they were really strong personalities, and they were multifaceted in every sense of the word. My paternal grandfather, he was rendered paralyzed waist down at the age of 37. So he was very young, and he had to rebuild his life from scratch. And he did it from his bedside table at a time when there were no smartphones or internet. And he grew an empire out of it. And it was really admirable to see that. And my maternal grandfather, he was a doctor, a very respectful profession, but his doors were open for anyone who needed it. Not just because he was a doctor. He was an avid DIYer. I think I get that from him. He would tinker with everything that was within his hand's reach. He built his house from scratch with his hands. He would make toys for us. He had a green thumb. He would repair cars. He would take care of pets, and just living life to the fullest and looking for things to do around him and enjoying it fully. So yeah, I think they were a huge source of inspiration to do something and not just let life take you where it goes.
So Mehnaz, from hearing it, you come from a very talented and skillful family. Is that right?
Yeah, I think everyone's talented, right? But you have to choose to own it And I think that's what these people taught me, that just take what you have and roll with it.
Okay, in that case, then, I mean, you've learned so much over, the course of your life through either your grandparents or your children. Then I want to ask you something. What is the biggest mistake that you're glad you made?
I don't know. This is a tough one. But for some public release, I'm going to say probably getting married at 19 to a stranger without really having a clue what's in store or what it really was. But it's been a wild ride and I'm glad it happened.
So if this is Mehnaz's take on it, Sadia, what would you say is the biggest mistake you're glad that you've made?
I've actually thought of this only in terms of our business. I didn't go as far as marriage, but now that Mehnaz has said,
Let's speak personal. These are personal questions. So what do you think, you believe, that has gone into your personal life that has impacted you positively all around?
Like when I was thinking of this question, all I could think of was the things that we've done along the way of developing Bismillah Buddies. And I think every year we make like a huge mistake and the next year we correct it. And I was thinking of the first year when we decided to invest a huge amount of money into decor products, which very quickly became commodity products. And, in terms of our growth as a business, that was a huge setback. And every year we do something which makes us take a step back and go, whoa, what was that? So I just hope as time passes, we make fewer of those mistakes.
But I have to say, the mistakes that you're speaking about sound like good ones, because here we are today speaking about Bismillah Buddies success, right? So now then I have to ask, how do you balance your time between business and your personal priorities and passions? First and foremost, what are your passions? What do you like to do out of your time from work?
So I think being part of BB is a lot to do with what I like to do. Like I told you, I was inspired by my grandfather. I like trying out stuff, and we started doing things that related to craft and DIY and writing songs for little children, and just anything creative, anything new is something that I like to do. And it is a huge part of what we do at Bismillah Buddies. And I don't know if I'm really good at balancing, but I know that it's really difficult for me to give up these bits of myself, like one over the other. So I need it all to be a part of my day. And whatever I'm doing, I try to be present so that I don't have to give up one side of me, and I can keep a little bit of every part that I love during my day.
That's a fantastic answer. What about you, Sadia? What do you think? How do you balance your time?
I think for me, the realization that you can't have everything at the same time all the time has been something that helps me balance. So there are times when there is, an urgency at work, and I know that maybe for 1 month or 2 months or a certain amount of time, my children will have to take a back seat. Then there is a time when there are, kids have holidays, and I know, okay, now I need to put my work aside and focus on time with them. And then there is a time when I'm like, okay, now I need to do something for myself. So I don't think for me it's possible to do everything at the same time, but there are seasons. So there are seasons when one thing needs more attention than the other. And then in the grand scheme over the year or over a few months, it does balance out.
Okay, so it's the bigger picture, you'd say, right? Like understanding what is to come and prioritizing as per what you see. Then that's great to hear. Then I want to know, since we're kind of leaving all the way to your business, now let's talk more about Bismillah Buddies. First and foremost, how did Bismillah Buddies come about? I know your children were your inspiration, but was there a particular scenario or an incident that happened that made you believe that Bismillah Buddies is the way to go?
So for me, it was, I was working as a lighting designer when I had my first child. And for me, it was just the realization that my entire social life and everything I did revolved around work. And I thought that just didn't seem right as a mom. And so Bismillah Buddies actually started as a community for me to connect with other moms. So it was most definitely, and it didn't start with the intention of being a business. It started with more of to create a community and to meet like-minded moms. So yeah.
What about you, Mehnaz? What in your perspective created the movement of Bismillah Buddies?
Yeah, I think my journey was also quite similar. I think Sadia is the one who started it. and I had a similar need or craving for a certain kind of company, a certain kind of community to be part of with my child, something safe and something nurturing for her to grow up in, and something for me to be fully involved in, and where she can make friends and feel valued as well. This is what Bismillah Buddies started off as.
That's amazing to hear. So this is how Bismillah Buddies started off. But now that you're deep in the trenches, let's say, what are the impacts and challenges you've had faced during the economic shifts of the pandemic?
As with everything else, these past few years have given a sense of urgency, a sort of pressure, and it's with everything else, not just Bismillah Buddies. So yeah, we've had to rethink so many things, but it's not all bad. I think we've realized the importance of the work that we do, the kind of impact that we can have on kids. Yeah, there is a huge realization that there's no time to waste. We have to get to it and we have to do the work in order to make something of it.
So Sadia, would you like to share?
One of the things that we realized during the pandemic was one side of it was just the operational issues. I mean, we suffered with lost shipments, we suffered with everything that most people, like where to print, how to ship, those kind of operational issues affected us too. The other thing was just balancing, like the whole mental toll of the pandemic, the priorities, how to balance, manage with your children doing distance learning, with the time, with everyone being in your space and in your face all the time. Those kind of, I'd say, mental adjustment issues. As a business, I think it gave us time, it gave us a pause to reflect and to actually expand our base concept offering into a couple of other things, like just to grow the idea of it bigger, which is what we're working on and which is what we're trying to develop through the AW program.
Okay, then I understand that the pandemic, it's a very familiar story, right? Like all businesses have faced a level of challenges during the pandemic because it was such an unprecedented time. Then in that case, what skills, tools, and resources have helped you build resilience and adaptability as a woman entrepreneur?
I think you have to be prepared to learn. That's been my biggest takeaway. Like learn, like here at AW, we're learning through our programs different concepts that we didn't know, and then through our experiences, we're learning different things. I think everywhere you look at, there's always something that you can learn, and you have to constantly be in this state of mind that you're going to use the situation, we're going to learn from it, and we're going to move out of it or grow out of it. So there's always that readiness to be willing to learn and to be willing to absorb more from your surroundings through meeting people, through conversations, through hitting the books even when needed, and getting to the flow level of what you're doing.
I think for me, it's been more of like achieving a sort of Zen mindset, like not to sweat over the small stuff. If you think, like we used to worry about things and then you realize, what, this is okay because there are bigger problems in the world. So it's really helped put that in perspective. And I think helped me relax about a lot of things related to the business because, like, I don't know, just a perspective, like putting things in perspective that this is life and this is a part of life because you've faced so many bigger issues. So yes, it does work out. You just have to keep at it.
Okay, that's good to hear. Resilience from the Bismillah Buddy ladies. Now, in that case, what is the next evolution as an entrepreneur and what do you look forward to?
I think carrying on from what I said earlier, just a realization of impact. And I think the first step or the biggest step is just recognizing the fact that I have something of value to contribute. So I am going to own it proudly and I'm going to go towards people with what I have and help them create value as well. I think this has been the biggest realization and what I'm looking forward to the most.
So as an entrepreneur, I feel really excited about everything that we have planned for the next couple of years, which includes expanding, what we do into other brands beyond Bismillah Buddies, which also means in which the AW program has been a great, like pivotal support kind of thing for us to reconnect with what we really want to do and expand along those lines rather than stay focused on the nitty-gritties. So I'm really excited about taking Bismillah Buddies forward as a product, but at the same time expanding based on our original mission, which we seem to have forgotten. So I'm really excited about working on all the concepts that we started off with about identity, about diversity, about quality content for children, and beyond the Bismillah Buddies brand. So we've put together something through this and through the pause that we've had. And as an entrepreneur, I'm really excited to bring the whole package together. At this stage, I think we're ready for it.
That's really great to hear. I'm really happy, Sadia and Mahnaz, with the experience that you're gaining. Your journey as an entrepreneur, and it's very inspiring to me as an individual itself. So thank you so much, ladies, for your time. Thank you for being a part of our cohort in phase 2. It's fantastic having you guys. And thank you once more for your time.
Thank you, Sabira.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sabira.